Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I have a should you melt this video that I need to record. I'm in a slightly different position right now because I'm trying to take advantage of some natural light that's still coming in a little bit from my window, but it is later in the afternoon already, and the sun is starting to set here at like 5:30. So, and the sun is on the other side of the house, so I don't have that much natural light. So hopefully this looks okay. I probably have a lot more sunlight on this side, but I do have some empties to share with you and also some non-empties to share with you. So as always, kind of a lot of non-empties, but you guys probably, if you watched my video, I can't remember what I labeled it, but it's on the bathing garden. My goal this past week was to melt through some bathing garden just to make room for my winter collection order that's coming in. I mean, I really need to make room in my wax stash in general because I have gone a little bit crazy. I went a little bit crazy the past several days with all the Black Friday sales. And I'm still planning maybe a few more orders, we'll see. The melted mousse, I'm probably not going to have this video up in time, but the melted mousse is supposed to be doing a Christmas sampler today that I really want to get because I haven't tried her wax yet and I've heard good things, so I'd like to try that. And then Waxidence. I don't know if any of you have ordered from Waxidence. She's been around for a while. She's always open, full customs, and her prices are really reasonable. She's having a sale through today, so it makes her wax really cheap, like basically about, I think, $1 per ounce. And so I'm thinking about placing an order with her. And then tomorrow Up the Creek is opening and I'm thinking about placing an order there too. But all three of them are going to be like around 50-60 bucks each. Nothing crazy because some of my other orders have been a little crazy. But anyhow, I'm kind of digressing from the point of this video. But I am trying to melt as much as I can. I do have quite a few warmers throughout the house. Not as many as I know some other folks do. And I work from home, so I'm able to melt every day, all day pretty much. But I still I will leave scents in. If they're throwing, I will leave them in for like the full day. If a scent stops throwing, then I'll change it out. I'll change out my warmers twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes only once, depending on how a scent's doing. So sometimes I go through a lot, sometimes not as much. And my hair is a disaster today. I feel like my skin is like shiny and dry at the same time. I don't know how that happens, but it does. If you have oily skin but live in a dry climate, do you have that issue where your skin's oily but also dry? I don't know. So I'm having a bit of an issue with my skin, but let me go ahead and actually share with you my, I'll start with my empties. So I just actually put this in. This is Volcano from K's. I think Volcano is it's a dupe for a candle. I can't remember what candle brand, but this is actually, I think, the first time I've ever melted this scent, and it's so pretty. I don't have the scent description, but it's definitely like a very like tart fruity scent. So I put this in my laundry room and it is floating out of my laundry room, kind of going towards my kitchen, living room area, and also towards my bedroom. So really strong. And this is a sample I just got with my October order, so I'm really impressed with that. Definitely on my list to reorder from K's once I do place another order. I finished a chunk muffin from Rose Girls in Strawberry Cookie Land. And so it's strawberry pound cake, and then the Cookie Land is confetti cake, toffee, butterscotch pretzels, and cookies. It's definitely more of it definitely is more of a sweet bakery versus a strawberry scent. You get more bakery than strawberry, but I do love this scent a lot. I have it going right now in my bedroom, and it throws pretty well. Like, it's a pretty decent throw. We'll see how long it lasts. I've melted it before, and I think it has pretty good longevity in the warmer. And I do have a full loaf of that one as well from earlier this year, which I really need to get to. That's from February. I think the loaf is maybe from March. From Teddy Bees, I melted my sample in I Smell Fall. This is Cider Lane toasted, is it Cider Lane marshmallow fireside and something else, and it's so good on cold. you really get the good blend of all three. I can't remember what the third scent oil is, but on warm, it's pretty much like a Cider Lane with like a hint of something else in the background, but that Cider Lane really takes over. It smells just like the Bath & Body Works Cider Lane. I really love the scent, and when I melted the sample, oh, first of all, this little scent shot I cut into 3 pieces and put it in my 2 warmers in my bedroom and 1 in my bathroom, so it was like tiny pieces in each. It threw so strong, like it was coming out of my bedroom. I went online and she still had chunk bags of this, and I almost ordered, but I was like, no, I need to not, because in her ready to ship, I placed 4 orders total. Like, yeah, I did some damage there. So, and I have Cider Lane from other vendors, and since this comes off as more Cider Lane on warm, I was like, I really don't need it, so I'll just put it on my list and it'll be something I'll look for next year. But it's really good and through really strong. From Candles from the Keeping Room. Sorry, it's gonna be hard to read. I finished this bag in Sugar Cookie Cotton Candy. This is from June of 2014. Still just trying to get through some of my older wax. This had a decent throw. I mean, 2014, so it's now like 7 years old, 7.5 years old. Is that, am I doing my math right? Yeah, 7.5 years old. It wasn't super strong, but I could smell it. I actually melted in my office. So if I have a scent that I think might be light or is older and I'm not sure if it's gonna throw, I will melt it in my office, because I usually get pretty good throw in that area. Even though it's a pretty big office and it has really high ceilings, I have a Glade warmer and then a light bulb warmer from Amazon that I love. And I'll maybe try and link that below, because I actually really do love the warmer. It's this really pretty like pink crystal. I love pink. And so it's beautiful, but it also works pretty well. Like the light bulb gets pretty hot. So with that and the Glade warmer, it performs well. But anyhow, so I put this in there and I could smell it all day. It was maybe like a solid 6 or 7. So it was present. It wasn't like strong, but it was present, but that's just because of age. Like, I'm still overall though very impressed with Candles from the Keeping Room as far as how, like, the shelf life. Okay, so the rest of the empties are all Bathing Garden clamshells. So this first one I've already talked about before. This is Tinsel, and this is strong peppermint with sweet berries. This was a strong thrower. I melted, I think one time I melted it in my bedroom, and then a second time in my living room area. It was a good like 8 out of 10. For it being a peppermint blend, you would think maybe it would be a little bit stronger, but it was actually still pretty good. Like, I did order more of this, so I have more coming, which I'm excited about. It lasted about maybe 6 hours, so it was good. I'm hoping, like the Bathing Garden, I struggle a little bit with it in my like main living room area, just because I think the area is big and I have vaulted ceilings. So I do have to melt quite a bit in that area to get a good throw, and I will sometimes, but it's not always like knock your socks off type scent, but it's really good. I love the scent in general. She's one of the few vendors I see still carrying it, so I will continue to order that from her because it does perform for me. I finished a clamshell in lavender, what is this? Lavender, Moraine mint. This is lavender, Moraine, and minty marshmallow and sugar. So this really came off more as like an herbal lavender to me. The mint was more like a eucalyptus mint versus like a sweet mint. I don't think I was picking up on the marshmallow. So this was like a good either like nighttime scent or like a relaxation scent. I melted it in my bedroom, and it was like I keep looking at my notes because I melted a lot of lavender and peppermint from the Bathing Garden, so I want to make sure I can remember, like, distinguish between all the different scents I melted. So it was like a good like 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It might be like a repurchase at some point for me, but not something like I feel like I have to have more of right now. Then I finished this iced peppermint cordial. And this is sweet peppermint, Starlight mints, marshmallow liqueur. I'm not sure what Starlight mints is. This really came off as a very soft, sweet, like peppermint scent, not like a nose clearing scent. I melted it in my bedroom. I would say it was maybe like a 5 out of 10. I could smell it. It was present, but not really strong. I definitely prefer my peppermint blends to be a lot stronger. So this is not dated. So I think it might be from like 2018 or 2019. I'm trying to think when I'm not sure. So it's not real old, but it's just for peppermint, I prefer something like definitely stronger on the peppermint. This is a Queen's Decree. I'm hoping you guys can see this because it is a little dim in here. This is clove, peppermint, nutmeg, and cream. And this was more like a clove and nutmeg scent with like a hint of sweet peppermint. I melted it in my laundry room and it was maybe a good like 7 out of 10. So for those notes being clove, nutmeg, and peppermint, it wasn't like crazy, crazy strong, but it was definitely present and it lasted all day. So I know every time I walked by my laundry room, I could smell it. And I was definitely like getting the clove and the nutmeg mostly. So I liked it. It might be one that I would consider repurchasing down the road. This next one is It's Always Tea Time, which is black tea, honey, lemon, and cardamom. So this was like a tart lemon with black tea. I put this in like my laundry room because I think I only had a couple cubes, maybe 1 or 2 cubes left of this. And this is from 2017, so you can see the date on there, a little bit older. It was a good 7 out of 10 and it lasted all day in my laundry room. So I would say like longevity wise in the warmer, the Bathing Garden usually does perform pretty well in staying, like having some lasting power in the warmer. So there was a time I went through that I really loved tea scents. I'm kind of not really into them as much these days, and I have a few more tea blends in my collection, so probably not something I'm going to look to purchase right away, but it was good. Okay, the naughty list is the next one I finished, and this is peppermint, clove, apple, and light citrus. I'm going to smell this one because I don't have notes on it. Yeah, so this was like a sweet peppermint with like clove. So it's interesting. Again, I think for her, I think just generally all of her peppermints, at least the ones I melted, the peppermint is just a lot lighter, not as strong as I would really like it to be. So none of them really like wowed me. They performed well, I could smell them, but when I'm going for a peppermint blend, I want like peppermint. I want nose clearing, and none of them were like nose clearing peppermint. This is Fizzing Lavender Soda. This is effervescent, well, the scent description is effervescent nectar, French lavender, plum blossom, and citrus. Now, there was no, on warm or even really on cold, there was no effervescent scent to me. It was more like a sweet floral with fruity notes, which I think the fruity might have been coming from like the nectar. It filled the space. I melted this in my bedroom. It was like a solid like 6 or 7 out of 10. So I could smell it, but it was more of like a pretty scent. So it wasn't like a relaxing lavender and definitely not a fizzy scent. So not what I would expect from this scent. It was good because it was pretty, but again, not something I think I would really like put an effort on rebuying. And I feel like overall, like I think a lot of these scents maybe just didn't wow me on cold, which is why I haven't melted a lot of them. But this is nothing to speak about like the Bathing Garden, because I love the Bathing Garden. She has some of like my favorite blends out there that I will continue to purchase from her. I think it's just these ones were kind of hanging out in my collection because they just weren't wowing me on cold, and that's why I never melted them. And so doing this really forced me to kind of get through them, and I enjoyed them all while they were melting. It's just they're not must-haves for me, right? So this next empty one is Salted Lavender. This is lavender, sea salt, softwoods, white musk, and vanilla. And yeah, this, you definitely get the like sea salt, which is kind of more like a salty sea air type scent with a little bit of lavender. So this is kind of like a pretty bedroom scent. Again, it was pretty, it was present, I could smell it, did well, but more of like an ocean air versus like a relaxing lavender. So, and usually for my lavender, I prefer something that's more like a bedroom nighttime melt. This is Salted Peppermint, which is sea salt and peppermint. And yeah, so this is probably the strongest peppermint blend of the ones that I've melted from her. I wasn't really getting the sea salt. It was just kind of like a nice sweet peppermint, like not overly sweet, but like a good fresh, I don't know, good fresh peppermint. So again, liked it. Repurchase, I don't know. I think these are just maybe, most of these are scents I'm not too sure about if I'd repurchase. Christmas Woods. This is cranberry, eucalyptus, clove, garland, and bergamot. Oh yeah, this actually was a really good one. So this was like a very fresh air Christmas tree scent. So some Christmas tree scents tend to be warmer, remind you of like, I don't know, just like that warm, comforting kind of scent. This reminds me more of an outdoor fresh air Christmas tree scent. So it's very pretty, but more of a fresh air type Christmas tree. And you can hear the little, there's like some of that confetti running around or rolling around in there. But so it's really pretty. I actually would repurchase this one because I really did like this one and it was a great performer. Okay, so that's it for empties. I'm gonna stick with Bathing Garden and share with you some of the non-empties, which I have quite a few of. Okay. Lavender vanilla custard. I melted 3 of the cubes. This is lavender vanilla bean custard, marshmallow caramel. This is really good. It's definitely like a sweet lavender, but the age on this one, I don't have it dated. I feel like this used to be stronger. I feel like it's not as strong. Like I've melted this scent from her before, and so I feel like it's not as strong as it used to be, but I really do like it. It really basically is like a lavender vanilla scent with a little bit of sweetness. So I do really like this one. It will be a repurchase because I know in the past I've melted it's been really strong. This particular clam I just don't think is as strong as I've had others from her, but it's still really good. Melted some Secret Santa. This is dark wild berries, strawberries, and champagne. So this, the berries in it, it's a little bit sweet. It's kind of more of like a fresh winter berry with a little bit of sweetness in it. The champagne kind of, it's not really bubbly, but it does give you kind of, like if you had a bottle of champagne that went flat, it kind of would give you the scent of the, because it's not a bubbly scent, it's not effervescent, but it gives you a little bit of that scent of like what champagne smells like, but without the bubbles. So it's kind of like that. It's okay. I will continue melting this and I will enjoy it while it's melting. But the strawberries, I'm not really picking up specifically strawberries, and the champagne is not like a fizzy champagne. This next one is a Hauntingly Dickens Tale. This is winter fruit, cold air, pine, cinnamon, and clove. This is a really pretty one. It's the cinnamon and clove, I think, that give it, and the winter fruit, give it a nice sweetness. So again, it has that like, just like the Christmas woods, was it the Christmas woods that had that like kind of fresh outdoor Christmas tree scent? This has that same Christmas tree scent, but it's sweetened up a lot by that winter fruit, cinnamon, and clove, and gives it more of a warm, comforting, like welcoming type Christmas tree scent. So I really like that one. Breathe Deeply. This is eucalyptus, menthol, and green mint. Ooh, this one I loved. This was like a beautiful eucalyptus, definitely heavy on the eucalyptus, and then a little bit of like sweet mint. Yeah, very good for nighttime, very sinus clearing. I love this one. I'm struggling right now because it's struggling with my nose because it's cold, so we have to run the heater because it's like at night it's getting down to like 30 degrees, but it's like that balance of running it just enough to keep it comfortable indoors, but not run it too much where it kind of stuffs up all your sinuses. So I need to start melting more of these scents at night to kind of just help keep my sinuses clear because the heater is, yeah, driving me nuts. Okay, the next one is Fireside Christmas. This is spruce, candy cane, and bonfire. Yeah, so you definitely get the bonfire note in this and the candy cane. So you get like the candy cane and bonfire more, and then just a little bit of spruce in the background. This was a pretty scent, smelled really good. I was enjoying that one. Storybook Mint. This is peppermint candies, milk cake, cotton candy, spearmint, and apple. So this peppermint, it's there, but not very strong. When this one was melting, I think it's called milk cake. I think the milk cake and cotton candy were coming out the most on this because it was kind of like a sweet cakey scent. Like I remember melting it and knowing it was a peppermint scent that I put in, but then I kept getting like a sweet cake note and I was like, where's that coming from? It was really good actually. So I enjoyed it, but it was that cake note was really coming out in it. I melted some of the lemon cheesecake. This is cheesecake and tart lemon. This is actually one of the cheesecake scents I can tolerate that does not come off as sour milk to me. I really do like this scent. It's really strong. I melted this, I think, in my office and it lasted like all day. Really is like a tart, sweet lemon, and like that cheesecake just gives it like a nice creamy sweetness. It's really, really good and very strong. So that will definitely be a repurchase for me. And okay, the last one of my non-empties, this is circus bread. So these big clams, I usually cut it in half to melt half of one in each warmer. So depending on what room I'm melting this in and how many warmers I have will depend on how much I melt. So this I melted in my bedroom, I think it was yesterday. And this is yeasty fruitcake, fresh strawberry and vanilla. I love this scent. I am gonna say this larger clam, because this is the first time I melted this larger clam, seems more bakery, leans more a little bit more bakery than the smaller clams. Like my recollection from melting the smaller clams is the strawberry was a little bit more present than it was in this one when I melted it yesterday. Now I still love it. It's still such a good bakery scent, but I feel like the strawberry was more present when I've melted it in the past. And I know these are like homemade like product, so I don't know if the ratio maybe was a little bit different when Shannon blended this one. Still really, really good, but, or maybe my nose has just changed in that I'm looking more for the strawberry in those blends, but still a really good favorite of mine. Still performed really, really well through pretty much all day and was like an 8 out of 10. So I absolutely love the scent and I will continue to repurchase it. Let's see. Okay, so that's it for the bathing garden. I'm gonna talk about this next one, the Sugar Melts by Stacy. I'm still trying to kind of melt through some of these scents that I got. This is vanilla wafers, yellow cake, and vanilla pudding. This one is actually really good. It definitely is more of like a cakey, like vanilla scent, and I actually am like really enjoying it. It's not like crazy strong, but it's there. It's just like a really good vanilla bakery. And I think when I was melting this like in my main living room area, I came out from my office and I was like, what's baking? Like it smelled like a cake was baking or something with this. So really good, decent performance. I definitely look forward to being able to buy from Sugar Melts by Stacy at some point in the future. She had a pre-order and I was planning to order and then I kind of forgot. And so I didn't order and I was kind of kicking myself for not. I mean, it's okay because I've ordered so much, but I definitely have her on my list to order at some point in the future when she does open back up. From Candles from the Keeping Room, I melted some of this orange cranberry muffin. This is from 2017. This definitely, the cranberry in here definitely has like a spice to it. So this was kind of like an orange bakery with like some cranberry and spice. So it was good, decent performance for being from 2017. I think I melted this. This was one of the ones I did on Thanksgiving Day. And I did it in my main living area and like in my tea light warmers, and it performed really well. So I definitely was like craving cranberry that day. I've melted a few pieces of this L3 Cookies with the Clauses, which, Cookies with the Clauses eggnog. And Cookies with the Clauses is Santa's on keto, Mrs. Claus cookies, and sugar milk. I don't remember what Santa's on keto is, but it's basically like a really good like bakery eggnog scent. This performed decently well. Like it was maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think all those bakery notes like kind of subdue the eggnog a bit in this, but the eggnog is like a pretty genuine like eggnog smelling scent, like pretty authentic, and has some like those eggnog spices. What is it, like nutmeg and whatever else is in eggnog. So I really enjoyed this. Not as strong as I would like it to be. I'd like it to be a little bit stronger, but it was really good. I have to make sure I'm not missing stuff. Okay, yeah. I have Autumn in the Park from Candles from the Keeping Room. This is kind of like a autumn, like a fall apple type scent. So it's like outdoorsy fall with like apple. It's really good. It's from 2015. So it's performing like a 7 out of 10 maybe. So a decent performance. Candles from the Keeping Room, I would say when you buy it, get it fresh. It doesn't need cure time. It's like 10 out of 10. So the scents are a little bit lighter because of the fact that they are older. Pretty much everything in my collection is a little bit older. So if you buy from Candles from the Keeping Room, the performance is going to be much better if you melt it within the first year or two. although I'm still getting really good performance considering the age. From Vintage Chic Scents, I melted some of Winchell's, and this is raspberry jam filled powdered donuts. I got a loaf of this. I think, yeah, you guys saw my haul. And so this is from November 9th. So not quite a month. And normally I try to let her wax cure at least a month or two. But I was really anxious to melt this and just see how it smelled on warm. This was fabulous. It threw actually really well. So I melted it in 3 warmers in my bedroom and bathroom. You really get that raspberry jam on warm. It's so delicious. And this lasted the entire day. Like, it was a great performer. Got that raspberry jam and a little bit of that like donut scent. So good. So I'm glad I have that loaf of this. Oh, also from Sugar Melts by Stacy. I totally missed this one. This is Cakewalk. And this is vanilla cupcake, strawberry pound cake, and marshmallow. Now, when I first showed this haul, I could not pick up the strawberry pound cake in this, but now I can. And it's like a very good sweet strawberry pound cake bakery. I was doing this in my living room area in my tea light warmers. I would say it was about a 7 out of 10. I put it in last night and I was only in the living room maybe a couple hours. Then I turned all the warmers off when I went to bed, and then I relit it this morning and I could still smell it. It's present. It's not as strong now today, but I definitely will definitely keep melting this, and I think it's good overall. So let's see. I had one in here that I was gonna melt and I haven't done it yet, so I put that aside. From L3, I melted some of this Boogie Be Gone, which this is a eucalyptus mint, and I don't remember what else is in it, but I think it's supposed to be kind of like her version of a Vicks Vapor Rub. So I put this in my bedroom and I did not smell it at all. And I was surprised because this type of scent should be very, very strong. And in the bag, I smell it. It's not super strong in the bag. So this is from March. So I don't know, every once in a while from L3, you get a dud. This is definitely one of those duds, which I was bummed about. I would definitely try this scent again at some point because I do like that nose clearing. I mean, I'll try melting through this. If I don't get good performance from this, I may try it in another format when she pours it again. Because I like the scent on cold. I just didn't smell it at all on warm. From Vintage Chic Scents, I melted some of this God That's Good, which is fresh blackberries blended with rosemary, mint, and shaving cream. This was poured on November 16th. Again, another one that I was like just very anxious to melt and didn't really give it any cure time. This was really good though. Like, I think definitely giving it some cure time will make it even stronger. I would say it was like a solid 7 out of 10. And you got, so on cold, you definitely like the fresh blackberries, I would say is like the first thing you smell. But on warm, I think the rosemary mint comes out a little bit stronger. And then after like near the end of its life, you really get that like shaving cream scent lingers. That's like the last thing you smell. So I'm definitely gonna let this cure longer just to see how it does. I'm hoping that the blackberry comes out a little bit more on warm. It's still very good. And her rosemary mint, I think it's the Aveda type. I don't think it always was. I think I could be completely wrong here, so don't quote me on this, but for some reason my recollection of some of her blends that had rosemary mint in her earlier days seemed more herbal, like more rosemary herbal versus rosemary mint. Like the Aveda type is like a nice sweet minty, slightly herbal scent, but it's beautiful. I love this. So, but I'm gonna definitely let the rest of it cure to kind of see how it does with some good cure time. From Glitterati, this is from a custom order I did a long time ago, and I forgot I had this in my collection. This is Strawberry Peppermint Marshmallow. Now her peppermint, so this is from May 2017. Her peppermint, when it's fresher and newer, is like a nose clearing peppermint. And this I wanted to mellow out with like the strawberry and peppermint at the time. And I think with age, that peppermint has kind of gotten very subdued. Now I could smell this blend very well and it lasted a long time, but it was like strawberry and marshmallow with like a hint of peppermint. It was very, very good, but that peppermint is not as strong as I would like it to be on warm, but it still smells really good. I will definitely like finish up this bag, and that's just a really good blend, like strawberry peppermint and then something a little bit sweet. It seems like I can never get through these videos in 30 minutes, so I apologize. This next one is, everything else I have is Teddy Bees. This next one is iHeart Vanilla Pumpkin. Yep, and this is creamy vanilla marshmallow, vanilla milkshake, boardwalk marshmallow clouds, and sweet pumpkin. I melted this in my living room. It's dated 10/3, and I melted this week, so it's definitely over a month cured. Not as strong as the iHeart Vanilla that I remember. The pumpkin definitely, I think, was a little bit more prominent in this one. It was really good. It was definitely like a baked pumpkin or like a bakery pumpkin. It was sweet, it was good. A little bit of spice was coming out. I think this one might benefit from a little bit more cure time, because I know the iHeart Vanilla, when I melted that from her, because I have it just on its own, I think I had it curing for like a few months before I melted it the first time. So I think I need to let this one cure maybe a little bit longer, to let that vanilla scent come out. And let's see, this is also Teddy Bees. And this is Tiff's favorite birthday cake and milk and cookies and zucchini bread. And that's Tiff's favorite lavender blended with white cake and buttercream layered with our milk and cookies blended with zucchini bread. On cold, well, one, I was not like super impressed on cold, but I also, when I cut into this, so this is from the order I placed in January, which came in March. This is March 2021. That's when it was poured. So lots of cure time. When smelling it in the bag, I mostly was just getting a kind of a sweet, creamy bakery. I didn't realize it was a layered souffle. So the lavender is on the bottom. And just on cold, it doesn't smell that special. But when I warmed this, so you can see I warmed about a quarter of it. I split it amongst 2 warmers in my bedroom one night. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing lavender bakery. Like sweet lavender bakery. I think I've mentioned in other videos that I wasn't like overly impressed with her lavender, but in this particular blend, it's so good. So I'm definitely, and again, it's had months to cure, so I'm definitely gonna look for this scent again in one of her future restocks, this blend specifically in one of her future restocks. I really love it. I definitely want to have more. And I just think I'm learning that Teddy Bees definitely benefits from some good amount of cure time. And then the last thing from Teddy Bees is Christmas Trees and Cream. This was another one that, like, on cold, this is a layered souffle, and so the top is the cream, which is fresh pine bows, vanilla sugar waffle cone, and rich buttercream. The top layer is the creamy part, and then the bottom layer is the trees. So on cold, when you're just sniffing it in the bag, it doesn't smell like anything special, but when you take it out, you can smell the tree scent on the bottom. On warm, so I melted in my living room, and again, this was poured February 8th. It says February 8th, 2020. That can't be right. I think that's a typo on her label because I did not order from her in 2020. I ordered, this is the same one. I got this at the same time in March 2021, the same time as this Tiff's favorite lavender blend. So I think that's a typo on her label. But on warm, I don't know, like it was good, but I wasn't like blown away. And I know people rave about this scent. So I definitely need to melt it again and see. Like I wasn't getting a Christmas tree scent. Like I was a little bit, but not really. So I don't know if maybe I was just getting more of the waffle cone and the vanilla buttercream. And I kind of wanted to smell a little bit more of the Christmas tree in it. I don't know. So I'm going to melt it again, but just from the one time I've melted it, I'm like, meh, like not blown away. So we'll see. I need to melt it again. And I know I'm in the minority there. Like I know everybody loves that scent. So I need to give it another shot. And then lastly, I found this in the bottom. I missed it. From Dessa's. I melted some of her cranberry sauce. And this just says tart cranberries, hint of spice. This is definitely a spiced cranberry. And definitely has some cinnamon in it. Dessa's, I love Dessa's, first of all. Her stuff throws really strong. I've never had a dud from her. If I've had something light, it might be because it was a little bit older. But her stuff is always usually very strong and you can melt it right away. But her spiced, anything spicy that she sells tends to be very spicy. So I tend to avoid her scents that have cinnamon. because they're usually very strong cinnamon, but I also love cranberries, so I wanted to try the scent. So it's good, but it's definitely a strong kind of cinnamon spicy note in it, but it smells so good. So I like this one. Will I buy more cranberry from her? Maybe a little bit, but not a ton. So anyhow, that's everything I melted this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry this video kind of took so long, but I do really feel like I want to share with you guys my non-empties just because it takes me a long time to get through them. Now at some point, if I melt, like if I have a loaf of something that I'm going to melt multiple times, and I've talked about it multiple times, I probably won't share those until it's an empty, just because I don't want to be very repetitive in these videos. But as like I'm melting maybe stuff I haven't talked about in a while or ever, I will make sure to keep including those in these videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've had a great weekend, a great long weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. It's Sunday, back to work tomorrow for most of us. I had 5 days off, because I took Wednesday before Thanksgiving off through today, and I'm like, the 5 days just went so fast. So anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.